The rigged 2016 election, the social control, the old aging population in American demographics that are less white. Donald Trump owing tons of money to Russia. The deep state, the Zionist bankers put Donald Trump in there to make the enemy stronger and to facilitate World War III by destabilizing NATO and weakening America domestically. This guy's not even a billionaire. Over $1 billion in business losses. Donald Trump is known as Don the Con because he bankrupted 6 businesses and he doesn't pay his bills to creditors, suppliers, to workers. And Donald Trump admitted that the deep state and the Russians helped stage an intelligence disinformation campaign to rig the election against Hillary, the meeting with Trump Jr. to dig dirt on Hillary Clinton, all the propaganda with this campaign about these pesky brown people committing crimes coming to America, focusing your anger on those colored people versus the white men in suits that are shipping the jobs away. More Mexicans leaving America than entering, lying about rampant immigration right now. The murder rate has been decreasing over 47 years. There's no violent crime. Donald Trump's campaign is based on the ugliest characteristics of Americans and letting out the worst of their fears. The lowest gun rates in the last 47 years. Trump is a puppet who called Hillary a great Secretary of State. He praised Hillary Clinton, the so-called demon Donald Trump praised. The center-right Republican Hillary Clinton. Trump urges Russia to hack Clinton's email servers. And then disinformation that immigrants do not commit more crimes than Americans. That's false. That doesn't happen. There's no evidence that they do this. This is all disinformation propaganda to fill the uneducated, poor, right-winger with hate and with prejudice and disinformation, playing to the worst of their emotions. There it is, right there. No evidence that immigrants commit more crimes than Americans. The primary, of course, was rigged against Bernie Sanders. Winners announced after 5 minutes. Says so by the ex-DNC chair. And so we got rid of that there. And then the elites rigged it for a corporate Democrat, a center-right Republican, Hillary Clinton, versus a progressive freedom fighter for the people, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders would have killed Trump in a landslide. Over 10% votes for Bernie Sanders. The election was rigged against him because he was a threat against the establishment, and he was who the American people wanted. The silent majority stayed home from the election because they wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. The non-voters stayed home because the election was rigged against Bernie Sanders for the most unpopular president in modern times. The 2016 election, in this extreme far-right wing campaign in 2016, you get rid of the zero. 2016, that's 216. The cube root of 216 is 666, the number of the beast itself. When you multiply the 3 sixes, that equals 216. And that represents Donald Trump's campaign. 48% of the vote for Hillary Clinton, 46% for Donald Trump. Hillary called Donald Trump's uninformed supporters basket of deplorables, no matter how right she is. Donald Trump with 46% of the vote, he lost the popular vote. He won the rigged electoral college. Deplorables, as gematria 46 and 109. 46% of the vote for Trump. The Trump fan would be the deplorable here. See that? Xenophobia clouds their judgment, and instead with race and hatred and prejudice. And white poor libertarians who have this fantasy of laissez-faire capitalism, I can do it all by myself. And this sociopathic far-right agenda was what won on November the 8th of 2016. November the 8th forms the 118. November the 8th of the year 2016 adds up to 55. Sociopathic ideology of cutting taxes for the billionaires, cutting the social programs, cutting Medicare and Social Security, all what the Koch brothers want. Donald Trump is a false messiah. This election was scripted because now the Republicans have turned into their Russian buddies, the Soviets. Donald Trump, the Russians kept his empire afloat. The Berlin Wall was demolished on November the 9th of 1989. 25 years later, from 1989, was Donald Trump's, the whole thing was demolished in 1991, in November of 1991. So let me type this in. The Berlin Wall fell in 1991, so 25 years later was the election of the wall president, Donald Trump. The wall was a scripted theme to keep the old, uneducated, racist, white right-wingers in check, because Donald Trump equals 48. It's wall that equals 48. Republicans, Christians, the Illuminati, which favors the most with right-wing ideology. We're talking about the multinational corporations. In Gematria, it's even propaganda that equals 48. The propaganda of the Mexicans coming here, committing crimes and taking our jobs, when it's the white people running the corporations that are shipping the jobs overseas. And I want you to notice that it is the far right that equals 120 as well. Mexicophobia equals 120. A fear of Mexico, Mexicans, and people of color. When we talk about the southern border and the fear of Muslims bombing America, that Obama was a Muslim making the Middle East strong. When it's the military-industrial complex and the CIA that prop up the enemies. Islamophobia has a gematria of 57. There were 57 prior elections prior to the 58th quadrennial election on November the 8th of 2016. A real estate mogul won the election. Michael Pence was his vice president. 58th election. Freemasonry equals 58. We talk about Michael Pence, right? His last name rhymes with fence. Fence equals 33. 33 miles of fencing along Mexico. So I won't need to type it in. I'll just link it into the description, so we can make this run faster when we get rid of all these links here. I showed you how the election was completely rigged against the president. That would have meant a real revolution and real change in America today. We're talking about Bernie Sanders and just how brainwashed Americans are today. Waiting for the gematria calculator to load, of course. It's weird how it stops suddenly. Shouldn't do that. I really hope that there's the gematria calculator. I mean, 25 years later, Donald Trump wins the election after the destruction of the Berlin Wall. Berlin equals 33. The wall with Mexico, that was all scripted. We've seen 33 miles of fencing. I'm going to link that to the description tab. Donald Trump defeated Clinton. Clinton equals 33. Oh, Clinton's going to let all the illegals come in and vote. That's not true. That's all propaganda. The far-right demonizing Clinton with Benghazi and all this. The idiocracy with Donald Trump being a complete narcissist, that he knows more than the generals. He's got no experience. He's got no real policy. The last time the Republicans won was in the year 2004. 20 plus 4 is 24. It's Russia that equals 87. Hijacking the email servers of the Democratic National Convention. The Democratic Party equals 87. The conspiracy of the tax cuts for the wealthy trickling down. It doesn't work. At the end of the day, it's these shills out there that are spreading information for the alternate right. Alex Jones, Zionism, InfoWars, demonizing a center-right corporate campaign, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Something that come out straight out of the Book of Revelation. Book of Revelation, this narcissist in chief that we have right now, Donald John Trump, who succeeded Barack Obama. It's Obama that equals 68, Donald John Trump equals 68. Of course, Donald Trump is a con who doesn't pay workers. Obama, con equals 14. Donald Trump was born on the 14th day of June. We talk about Obama being a birther, Donald Trump spreading these false claims, being this messiah figure for old white Americans. Don the Con, 44, birther, 44. Donald Trump, the big fraud, who owes millions to Russia, is not a billionaire. Donald, fraud equals 50 and 23. Worst president in American history, worst equals 95 and 23. Helped with a propaganda campaign of fake news from Breitbart. President Donald John Trump plays the victim campaign, the victim game by saying that a Democratic deep state is out to get Donald Trump, when really the policies of the Republican Party benefit every single special interest group out there. Trickle-down economics equals 95. President Donald Trump, 95. The Manchurian president that's serving the interests of Russia. Manchurian president has the gematria of 95 as well. The alternate right equals 95. Alt-right has gematria of 95 and 41. Breitbart, gematria 95 and 41. Nationalism, fear of immigrants, whatnot. It's these immigrants that are the problem. We're not blaming the corporatists, right? Hitler and the Jews, right? Very familiar stuff. Very familiar stuff. Now, the 115th Congress occurred from 2017 to 2019 when Trump was in office. That was a right-wing Congress that failed to pass Trump Care. Trump Care equals 115 in gematria. President Donald John Trump, money is the root of all evil. That would be greed, because trickle down is a scam. It doesn't trickle down. You need more money for workers, right? Tax cuts for the workers, increase the minimum wage, right? More taxes means higher wages. Low taxes for workers means less wages. We don't have to pay you as much. Trickle down economics is all a scam. Greed and money is the root of all evil, and that's what the Republican Party stands for. All these immigrants coming here committing crime, this is all fake news. Violent crime, this is all fake news. Trump is the king of fake news. Anything he doesn't like, he just says it's fake news because he's a narcissist who doesn't want to be criticized. And he's really corrupt. This is a right-wing Congress of the 115th Congress, and they want to reverse everything that Obama did because they have a legacy of hate and prejudice against the first black president. Mitch McConnell said that, hey, our goal is to make him a one-term president. The rigged election for Donald, rigged 50, Donald 50. The worst president in America being a narcissist, white trash support him. Xenophobes do. Xenophobia that caters to these so-called libertarians who turn out to be closet racists, who turn out to want white supremacy themselves, who think that, oh, they need a little bit of laissez-faire, and that's the problem, that this big bad government is holding them back instead of the people running the corporations. We talked about 666 multiplying the 216, the year 2016 with a zero. The mark of the beast in Mr. Donald John Trump is the mark of the beast, all equal 177. We have a Manchurian president. Donald Trump serving the interests of Russia. We need to defund NATO. We need these tariffs to destroy America. Smooth Policies Act, 88 years later with Trump, it's Trump that equals 88. It's Moscow that equals 88. Right? What I've said at the beginning of the video. Now here it is. Trump, 25 years later from 1999, it's Moscow that's running Trump's campaign. The Republican Party, the deep state that's using the Republican Party to start another war like they did under George W. Bush. The war is going to follow after Donald Trump's presidency. It's going to be caused because of Donald Trump and the recession, the crash, and the funding NATO, and what this corporatocracy is going to bring to America. It's the absolute wars. Putin wants a greater Slavic state. Donald Trump's going to try to bankrupt America. No fencing, no new health care, no repeal of Obamacare, tax breaks for the wealthy. Making our enemies stronger, praising dictators. Outright idiocracy. And a complete puppet who owes money to the Russian oligarchs.